You know what I wanted to get into though, after we crack jokes and that, last Thursday? Last Wednesday? That Damilola Taylor documentary come out.
Yeah.
Presented by Yinka Bikini, Damilola and me. I know I've seen it. I think, have you seen it, Vans?
No, I didn't. I haven't watched it, no.
Okay, cool. Well, it's not a spoiler because everyone knows what happened in it, but
yeah.
it was just
I'm gonna catch it though.
no, you catch it. Yeah, it's a decent watch. It's from her perspective because she
was his neighbor or something.
Was
like
his
that?
neighbor, yeah, and they were friends that they used to play out together at that time period, innit? So it's from her perspective, and she's got people in there that knew him at the time, people that saw him on the day of the actual event and what happened. So it's a defining moment in a lot of our like black British experience or whatever, because he was so young and it was like, I realised it was a big thing, but I didn't realise until watching the documentary how serious it was when like literally not too long after that those estates came down.
All right.
I didn't realise until watching doc. I didn't like obviously I know the estates came down, but I didn't know what it was just close to. Obviously you think gentrification, whatever, like that played a part in it.
Okay.
Like something happens of that magnitude. The boy was what, 11?
It was a national.
Yeah, it was a national thing. Yeah, it's a national thing. You know.
I remember that time.
Yeah. Young Nigerian boy, so obviously it resonated in my household. It being in Peckham. My parents, when I was a lot younger, for a little while, lived in North Peckham Estate. So they've seen a lot of things. Like this is when end was really the end. You've seen things. You know, squatters' rights. That type of period where like you bust a door and that's your house. If you pay a little light bill, that's you in it. You know, but the house ain't safe because another man's coming to bust that door because he wants the house in it. You know, and I just sat there like, I don't feel like a lot of us have probably addressed our pain and trauma at times. Because I didn't know him personally, never met the kid. But just watching, I just sat there like, this is mad. But it's made me feel really like, I don't know what word is it weird, uneasy?
Yeah, I think those words are justified, like, because those are generally what you feel.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like, obviously you didn't know him, but it was around the vicinity of like, you know, where you came up in it. So it's like,
I just go to that library.
Close. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, wow, you know, because he was just a regular, it's like, he's just a regular kid like I was, you know. So looking back at it now from an adult perspective, and you know, you're seeing people in that documentary that, you know, have grown up, have had the opportunity to do what they're doing, and you know, his life was cut short so young. It's gonna make you feel uneasy and weird. Yeah,
my man was on the Tiny Man. He's I didn't know at the time, but he was with him on the day. You know,
that's crazy.
Yeah, like it's mad. Like a lot of us, that we've met each other growing up or at later points in life. Yeah, we all like connected to the same place, innit? So, and what was even more mad is, and I started realizing, hold on, the niggas that did this, we seen them niggas.
Yeah, we
saw one of them. Me and Van saw one of them in Rum Kitchen, maybe like 2 years ago. That one's, he's in jail now, innit? So like that's been his life, consistently out of jail since that whole thing happened. And I'm just like, yeah, bro.
And it's mad that I was able to like be like, rah, that's, do you know what I'm saying? Because it was such a big thing at the time, and you know, the faces were plastered all over the papers and stuff. So like certain faces just stick. But I mean, I haven't watched the documentary, so there's not much that I can really speak on it. No. Just on the situation itself, it's just the knock-on effects after that. I think his mum passed shortly after. Yeah. Which I can just imagine, like she dealt with from that moment where Damilola passed all the way up until when she passed. It was just torture for her. That's just me, you know, on the whim saying that. Like, I could just imagine what it would have been like.
They even named a centre after him that used to play football there. Like behind all the estates. I mean, it just change ends forever, innit? So yeah, if you're like me, you like documentaries, I think it's a good watch if you can stomach it and that. I'd say watch it. Defining moments, like anytime there's stuff like Stephen Lawrence comes on the TV, I'm always like, I just remember how I felt at the time, and like even growing up and going to like those same areas like Eltham, and like the fact that like it's not left my mum, so she'd be like, "Oh, be careful around there." Whereas you think, "Oh, that's a big fucking man for me." They pull up, but when it's the dead of night, you're at a bus stop in the ends that's not really your ends like that,
and at a time where the buses weren't that frequent.
Yeah, like
and there wasn't the countdown thing where you could see when the bus was coming.
Yeah, just waiting around and that.
That's mad, and it kind of like emphasizes a little of our small privileges. You know, like that, just something as simple as like knowing when the bus is gonna come. That's like a privilege.
Yeah.
You know, in that regard, because you know when you're in certain places and you don't know when the next bus is coming, or like you have to look on the little thing on the lamppost. There's no guarantee, like, and it's not your end.
Yeah. You know, that's what I was watching last week. R.I.P. to him, man. Like that's it was the final moment. And just remember at the time.
What was it? Is it like how many years on is it?
I can't remember. I don't know if that was.
Was that 20 years on or something like that?
Before I went to secondary school. It was early 2000s, wasn't it?
Because he was 10. He would have been what now?
I think our age. I'm not even sure. I think H is double checking, isn't it?
He'd be our age.
Wouldn't be far off 30 if he was still alive. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
my mum was being on to me like about going Peckham or going here or being out, being vigilant, being careful, like really on me about not joining, like joining bad gangs, stuff that she was already worried about. That height in that sense is like, you know. And like I said, that was something that we used to go to frequently. You go there for like your after school programs and like hang out with your brothers in the library there. So
yeah, it was 2000.
2000.
Yeah,
it's a long time ago.
There you go, 20 years.
And it's just like fighting a good fight and that, and it's just. And the other sad thing about it, I know we've spoken about, unfortunately, death a lot over this year. It's just like life just kind of moves on. We remember you, but we just
gotta keep it moving.
We just keep it pushing, just keep cracking on in it. So, but yeah, man, I think other talking point. I think like I want us to address it. I don't know if you guys seen the unfortunate footage today of the young girl in what end was she in?
Mitcham.
Is it Mitcham? Where the guy tries to from what we saw and what was written online, I think sexually assaulted and tried to kidnap her. If I'm correct, innit? You know, it's like oof, like this afternoon, early evening, like social media's been blown up with this video and this guy's face been plastered everywhere, and I just hope like what I like. Obviously, I like community action, jungle justice. I wouldn't be mad at that, but I hope that if that doesn't occur, that police grab man or man hand himself in and then due process, innit? And it just warns us like man's got to be mad vigilant.
No,
because having broad day, bro.
Yeah, 7 a.m. And you know these things are like super sensitive, man, like and triggering. So, like I appreciated, you know, the lady and her daughter with what they did in rescuing the girl.
Yeah, and
filmed it as well with also maintaining the girl's identity.
Yeah, not showing her face because
nowadays on social media, that could, you know, easily be circulated in the school that the girl goes to.
Big facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? So they've done an amazing job because you've got people like that get up in the morning and prey on the vulnerable.
Yeah.
So there's never any sympathy for me when it comes to that, towards, you know, the perpetrator, because you're targeting someone that's vulnerable. You can't do that to in a way that you did it to a grown woman or someone that you know that can defend themselves.
And even then it's still wrong.
Yeah,
and that goes without saying, but yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? That goes without saying, but then you've got this young girl that's going to school. How does that, me as a parent, put any trust on society to look after my child when she's doing something innocently, as in going to school? It doesn't give me the trust at all, bruv. Like, even with my younger brothers. Do you know what I mean? Going to school, because I know that there's people out there that are targeting them. So yes, like about a month ago, we were talking about my daughter going to school and starting school, and you know, the excitement, the jubilation that parents feel when they send their children to school. They're taking first day pictures. unfortunately, we're in a society where we have to safeguard that. Like, yes, we want to post, but we're covering where they go to school because we have to. Because these are the same Donnies, yeah, that are chilling outside the schools and no one's clocking that. Do you know what I mean? Because they disguise themselves as if they are genuinely going to pick up their child from school.
And that's what Donnie said in the video. Oh, this is man's people, this is man's sister and that.
Yeah, look at that. Like, that is someone that has done this before many times because he knew what to say immediately. That's not that, like, and I think as a society we have to, like, I can't even sit here and say that, like, oh yeah, this is what you should do or you should do. Me, I feel responsible not just for my own child, but for others that I spot danger. When I spot danger, because it's easy for us to just walk and get on with our lives, but we can identify so many different things. What we can't identify when the kid is in danger. These are situations that we have to kind of wake up to, because if she didn't have her radars on, then
yeah, because it was the younger. I think the younger girl out of the two was the one that clocked that my girl was like something was off.
Yeah.
How he held her, he had his hand around her mouth. What is that?
Yeah. You're right, bruv. So that's what I've got to be. Just we've got to do better in regards to loads of things in regards to like rape culture, having these conversations and just holding man accountable and being real. But like, if you see something, say something, do something. I know it starts causing friction online and people put it as generals. It's not. It's the truth in this matter. Women, once again, on job, on site, no games.
Yeah, do you know
there's
what?
A lot of time when that scenario pops up. Oh, if you was a man, you saw something happening, would you do something? Bare man say, yeah, I'll do something. I'll do that. You know, a lot of man won't, but just raise the alarm. If you're shook, scream, do something. Shit,
Yeah,
like, say
raise
something.
the alarm if you're shook.
You know, and I understand that. Like,
not everyone's gonna approach
of
a
course,
situation, innit?
of
like,
course,
we have to just be real.
Yeah, the context is men probably are gonna be involved in, or are more wary of the physical escalation, innit? So that's why man don't do it. But like, if the women are like front line, like they were vigilant, they followed, got it on video, did what they needed to do to get my man away, and rescued homegirl. You know,
I can't even unhear the trauma on that little girl's voice.
Yeah,
Sickening.
And that just fucked up my entire afternoon. To the point where it's like I had to come off socials. I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it was only 2 months ago I was telling you about the situation on my block.
Yeah.
And we had to get at my man.
Yeah, you ain't got to go into it, but yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's horrible. It's the worst thing for me. Like,
but in that situation, as a community, you lot did something.
Yeah, we dealt with it.
That's what we just got to do, innit? Like, due process, you've got to see everything through. But the initial thing, well, like we've seen, like the powers that be, we feel like they don't care, but do what we need to do for us, innit? You know, and then, like I said, I know that maybe everybody might not feel how I feel. If it is off my man, that's you off them, innit? Switch them off, innit? But if it isn't that, like what everyone's done, circulate the information. One thing I do feel we have to be careful of is just making sure that if we're going to do what happened today, that we circulate the right information, innit? I feel the consensus is, I don't know if you guys seen Donnie's photo all over like the blogs,
circulating, yeah.
Twitter, Instagram and that. I feel like it's him, innit? But the danger is if it's not and it's happened before, something that happens, that's on us, on our conscience, innit? So that's all I think we've got to be a little bit careful with, innit? Because everyone can't say to me that they got it verified that is Donnie. You're obviously, it's emotive, you're doing the right thing, innit? Because, hey, guys, this is this Donnie. Spread this image so we get him out of here. But just be a little bit careful, innit? Yeah. That's what I'm saying, innit? So, but yeah, no, everyone that did their bit, shouts out to them. It's important, we got to do it. And we've got to make sure we keep having this conversation in regards to safeguard. And I don't want people just like, I've seen annoying things like, oh, you know, this is why she will like take her children to school. Like, parents do over a lot, innit? Like, that
you can't criticize, but you can't criticize parents for that.
That shouldn't be the point of call. Like, we should have a society where that doesn't happen, innit? That's what we should do, innit? You know, and we know sickos are sickos, innit? So we can't stop everything, but make it as hard as possible.
There's only one person that blame here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Don't blame the victim. Don't blame the victim's parents. Don't blame, like, you know, whoever you want to blame, apart from the one person that you should be blaming.
Yeah. And if the man them are really the man them, and the police do get their hands on them and he goes through the system, then do your job on the inside, innit? Tune her on a sock, make things happen, innit? If everyone says they've got morals, right?
Yeah.
Then let's just let's see that thing all the way through, man. But yeah, I don't want us to somber up the podcast this week, but that was weighing on my mind, didn't it? So,
that's great that you brought it up, because it was something that, and even with us just speaking about it for a couple of minutes, it raises awareness. Just make sure that people are vigilant out there, and just protect the children, man. Because the last thing I hate is children being robbed of their innocence.
Bro, this is already sick world as it is, bro. Like, don't do that to them, innit? Because the minute
it's
you're
traumatic.
online, you get to secondary school, it's madness. Because even I sat there thinking today, I was like, I come off social media. It made me think about, like, all the times man was in school, smart car, roadster, baby Benz, little TTs and that. These are big men.
Yeah.
Linking our little brethren or our little girls that we're trying to deal with. And at the time, you're thinking, these, like, my initial thought as like a 13, 14, 15, because I look at these older men stealing our things and that. Now, these are big men taking young girls. And we all think, okay, like within our circles, like we're all saying nice boys and that, we don't have problematic behaviour. All you got to do is start speaking to your the ladies in your life and have proper conversation with them. You realise bare man are mad.
Mad.
And it's sad to hear how many of them have got the same story. So yeah, that's what it's made me look back and be like, right, yeah, such is a paedophile. That's what it is. That's all we can call it. It's nothing else but that, And man know what they're doing. I don't want to hear like the mental health chat. I know some people want to have that like extra conversation. How do we deal with and try? I don't think you can cure certain things. And I'm a kind of matter of fact person. Is what it is. Switch them off because the threat to society is too big. So let's say my man is mentally unwell. What do? We treat him. We try and cure him. We bring him back to society. You've got then the cost of monitoring said individual. Like when we have the paedophiles, like if you're in an area, they have to make people aware. Yeah. You can't have them in their schools. There's certain restrictions. So all that stuff, and they have a casework. It's a lot. Yeah. Let's just switch them off, bruv. Because everyone not agreeing, but it's just like draw a line in the sand. Because all the extra stuff you got to do on the other side. Alright, look, you stole, you did a bit of F. We can rehabilitate that. You might have moved a bit of grub. You learn your lesson. If not, you come into jail and you stay here forever. But that thing there, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I'm in another mindset, another mood, another day, I don't mind. I like a good debate, innit? Present your argument to me why we maybe should do the rehabilitation thing. But how I'm feeling right now, yeah, it's a no go, innit? So you put up mine. Did you want to say something?
No, I had an interesting thought, yeah, and I've had it before.
Yeah, and
it's weird because, and it's beautiful that everyone kind of like comes together in times like this. Do you know what I mean?
Social media was this is when the moment where like social media was good. Everyone's on the same page,
and I think that's dope. But what I had this thought, and I've had this conversation, but not this conversation, but what I'm about to say next is that when do people stop caring about people? And when I say that, I mean like we care about what happens to children.
Yeah.
What age do people stop caring? Because ultimately,
it's a good question.
As adults, people don't give a fuck about other people.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, when is that turning point that we grow up and we suddenly decide that people's well-being is none of our business?
When we discover the hardships of an adult.
Whatever the legal ages are for the turning points. What age are you allowed to smoke, drink, have sex, vote,
or maybe
live on your own, leave school?
May not even be.
But that's how I'm looking at. I'm looking how does society views you at this certain point? You are now either a young adult or an adult. But you can do all those things I've listed. That's how I look at it. So
yeah,
But what makes, because I think more Vans kind of had an answer there, but it's like to actually not care, because we're touching on a subject that's like this, that's very serious.
Yeah. And
everyone feels like, wow, that could have been XYZ. But then as grown people, things happen to other adults, and
where
people
empathy
are very
goes.
It vanishes. It's non-existent, which actually doesn't make any sense when you really deep it. I'm just trying to understand.
It's all like herd type thinking, group thinking. If I see, like, for example, I could be walking down Victoria Street and everyone's walking towards the same direction. Yeah, obviously everyone's going to wherever they're going to, but it's all within the same direction. And there's a situation where no one stops, everyone keeps on walking. More time, I'm gonna follow suit with what everyone else is doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that whole science program to just
if everybody starts running, like carnival, you run.
Yeah, when everyone starts running, not really like fully processing what's going on over there. Because like when it comes to it's all that like that NIMBY theory, innit?
Yeah, and
not in my backyard.
And that's what kind of like, and because I've had this thought before, and I've based it on my experiences in life, how I am as a person, and a lot of things. Like I'm a very caring person, even beyond people that I know. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Your lens is like far more broader than, you know, let's say the average person that we're talking about, because it's like that's the type of person that can only spot danger when it's danger to them.
Yeah, and that's why I thought about it before, and I find it like that whole NIMBY thing. It's like I've thought about so many things, like, you know, that whole concept. It takes a village to raise a child and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? But where does that village go when you become an adult, fam? Yeah.
Like adults still need that village.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Like I said, it's like when we first start experiencing hardships, we're like, do you know how hard it's taken me to get to this point where I am today? You should be on the same thing. But there's no sympathy there.
And that's the lack of empathy.
Society, so the political system we live in, the financial system we live in, it beats
it's a rat
us,
race.
It beats us into a pulp, and I think that's what it is. Now, if you get the same scenario and that was an adult woman, I would hope the same thing happened. Like, I still believe in us as a people that, like, if that was an adult, that same reaction would have been where...
I don't think it would be the same reaction. And not that it's not a competition, but I'm just like, observations have taught me that someone might look at it like, oh, that's deep, how could that happen? When it's a child, we're like, wow. But I'm like, these
do you know why I think if I do it like for like, because it was women that saw a young girl, and if it was the same women that saw a woman with a man with the hand over the mouth, and I reckon it'll react the same. Now, if you add the man them, or men in general, that's when I think it may lend to more to your point where it's like, maybe not. It might have been man think, oh, you know what, maybe him and his girl having a tiff, or we start adding extra scenarios, or like, okay, yeah, nah, cool, they're doing them. That's a bit mad, but I'm across the road and do me.
And I wonder if people are aware of the lack of empathy that we may display as adults, as opposed to when you were a child or when you have children or whatever it is, because it's something that I think about a lot. Do you know what I mean? Just because
a lot of it is ingrained in fear as well.
Yeah, massively.
You don't want to intervene into another adult's problem.
But you know what the mad thing is? These problems as children are being resolved by groups. So if you add the same mentality when you're older, you can do more because a group of adults can actually solve a problem. Do you understand? And it's just like that disconnect is very strange. It's like I always think about mad things like that, but it's like what is this age where suddenly it doesn't matter no more? You don't matter as a person. We don't care about what happens to you.
And it's easy to, bro, because like I'll tell you a story. Last month I was walking home, and this lady approached me and she was like, can I use your phone? Immediately, I judged her by her appearance. Like, so, like, if I never took that split second to actually say, hold on, hear her out, I would have been like, nah. Because her appearance looked like she was homeless and she just wanted money, right? So it was like, the first thing she asked me for is not, oh, can I have 20p or blah, blah, blah. She was like, can I use your phone? And I'm like, no.
Okay.
But then, because it was dark as well, so I looked at her properly and I seen that she had been injured, right? So I was like, what's going on? What happened? She was like, I need to call the police. I've just been attacked, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, by who? She was like, there's someone in my flat that I can't get out. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll call the police. Yeah. We called the police. So I'm speaking on her behalf now. So they're asking me questions and she's having to tell me. And they're asking me what the relationship is between the person that she can't get out of her house. And then she was like, he's a friend. But then she was like, no, actually, he's my ex-boyfriend. So obviously he's gone over there. They've got into an argument and he's punched her up. So I'm trying to get the police to come ASAP, blah, blah, blah. I've mentioned her injuries, and they've quickly established that, all right, cool, she needs medical attention, so we're going to send over the ambulance as well. So now we've established that she's in a violent situation, yeah, and he can come out the crib at any point looking for her, innit? Because she's fled, no shoes on, right? So they're saying, oh, we're going to get there in 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, cool. So now I've got to prepare myself, because I was waiting until they came with her, innit? So now I've prepared myself
to be in the line of whatever, because you're there.
Donnie might come out and on smoke. It could be a situation. I was like, all right, cool. I'm willing to do that in it until they get here. Thankfully, none of that happened. They got there, and that's what it was. But I can just imagine, like, just from the beginning of the story, I can imagine that someone could have easily just walked past her and said, nah.
No, I hear this. Now, I think I agree with how you operated, because I'm not trying to tell people, because it's very idealistic, some aspects of the way I think, or how things should be. But you took precaution first, do you know what I mean? Because the world we live in is the world we live in. But there are people that would have heard the story and thought, nah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you judged first because you thought, like, you're not just going to be, like, open straight away. You assessed it. But then upon hearing the story, you was like, yeah. But then if there was a situation like that with a child, the same people that might have said no might have said yes. And it's just, do you see what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying,
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, innit? We're conditioned that way, innit? Off your experiences.
No, but I hear that.
It's like, we judge everyone. We do not wrong. Judge people. We judge people, innit? You can't be looking raggedy and we'll be like, move, bruv. That's the first initial reaction, innit? Because I'm trying to protect myself, innit? But you know, what's the extra caveat there? A woman plays a part possibly as well. Because you look at them as more vulnerable. Like, you know, if that was a brother to come up to you, can I use your phone? Bruv, move. Is that the Brooks and Jack boys? Like Trey Songz we're talking about.
Better luck next time, niggas.
Yeah. Better luck next time. About let me use your phone. They did that to me in Peckham in 2004. I ain't falling for this one again, yeah? I paid this bill this time. This
That
is my phone.
That happened to me before.
Let me see your phone.
Bro, this ain't my first rodeo, bro.
No, look, you can look at here. It's nice, innit? Yeah, you buy one for yourself, innit? If you work hard enough, you can buy one for yourself, innit? Yeah, don't chat me. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, man. Like, I like where you've gone with this. We should address it. I don't think you've even been able to really answer this question. What is the age, innit? Yeah. I think I presented one which is wherever we legally look at you as like, you can do adult shit.
But then again, enough. My following would be,
you could be a ringer.
Right?
It's not right, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Society's decided at this point you are of age, you are responsible. Wherever the age is where you no longer have to legally go to school. Wherever the age is you are able to work, smoke, drink, vote, drive.
Do you know one of the main things I think is I'm very conscious all the time of how much my actions affect people around me.
Yeah.
But also it doesn't stop there. Do you understand? Like, I could do something today or have a problem with someone that affects someone listening to this podcast right now.
Yeah.
But I don't have to know them for that to be the case. And so when that extends into problems, I'm like, not even doing it for a reason, just look after yourself, but you have no idea that who this is impacting, and your actions in this scenario could affect yourself, so many other people. And I think that there's a level of either, this is what I believe, I think that no one is obliged to do anything for anybody on this planet. Doesn't matter, man, wife, child, father, no one's obliged. But I think we all share the responsibility. Do you understand? Obliged means you have no choice in it. Do you get me? You have to do this.
Yeah.
But people don't do things. People don't fulfill roles. That's cool.
Yeah.
But your responsibility in the act is always there.
Yeah.
If you're absent, you have a responsibility there.
Yeah.
If you're present, you have a responsibility there.
Do you know what?
Do you know what I mean?
There was a conversation about this earlier. I saw on the timeline about, like, you know, people saying, "Oh yeah, nobody owes you anything." I think someone said, "Oh, they just cut their brethren off." Their friend cut them off for no reason to them. Obviously, no explanation. And she's like, you know, at first I was angry, but then I realized that no one owes you anything. And I'm like, nah. If I call you a friend and you think you can cut me off, no explanation, bitch,
Your Fols' face is like,
come back here and explain yourself, and then you can do the cutting off, innit?
I had a plan for that nigga. No. But you know, no one owes you nothing. It's a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
I use that so like when people disappoint, I'm already ready for it. Like, yeah, no one owes you nothing, but deep down you feel disappointed. But I spoke on like with the chat thing, like feel your feels. People can be cunts, whatever. Like feeling your feels is no. You do have an expectation. We do have a rapport, a bond, a friendship, relationship. I do have an expectation of how you're gonna deal with me. So if you just disappear and cut man off,
bruv, you think Fols can just fucking disappear and live his life? Yeah,
Fols like.
Get that revolt deal. Diddy, what up? What up? Yeah. I ain't signing the Locks contract, yeah. What up? I want
pull up to your gates.
Yeah. Nah.
Like, what?
Myth. Absolute myth.
None of you lot can just, like, stop talking to man. No explanation. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
You heard him just stick it on the room.
No, bro.
He looked around at
bro, R&A Award of the week goes to him. Nigga raw. Glorious.
No, I get what you're saying, but I when I see it, I don't see it from a place of like a place where to get over it, but it more so it's just that I understand that we're not bound by nothing.
Yeah,
we can make decisions. We're not bound by anything other than maybe our morals, but we're not even bound by that.
We should be though, because the community thing should be back. It's hard because we're not a monolith. All of us here from different places. We've got different ethnicities, technically, possibly different religions. All those things can they divide us, innit? Which is part of the reason why things can happen where someone doesn't stand in the gap or their initial reaction will be just to help straight away.
But then that's why the other side of what I'm saying is the responsibility is yours. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah.
But don't run away from the fact that you are responsible to a degree of what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And that's just kind of because I feel like people sometimes cloud their understanding of maybe the two things. I don't have to do nothing. It doesn't make you not responsible. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Someone's having a problem over there in the street and say, I'm not getting involved. I don't have to do nothing. Cool. But
because you rationalize like I said, the situation there, if it was an adult adult lady, and it was a brother,
but I don't know the situation.
And then and my man do it, man. Well, I didn't do it to her, but technically, if you stepped in or tried, there may have been a different outcome, innit?
And that's not to corner people that they have to do nothing. Yeah. But I'm an advocate for be responsible for whatever you are responsible for. And what people I think people are very by nature kind of intimidated by how much responsibility you really share on the planet.
Yeah, because it makes you hold yourself accountable and be like, all the other times I didn't step in or do whatever's perceived as the right thing in inverted commas. So now I realise I fucked up. And going forward, it's also like bearing that responsibility. Like, can I actually live up to the expectation? Because everybody wants to shirk responsibility. Everybody wants to leave the hood, you know. Like, I'm seeing people endorsing Trump and whatever. You're allowed to have your own political views, but I just find it funny when like we get in certain space and it's no longer I'm just over here with me and mine, isn't it? I'm just looking after my nearest and dearest, but it should be that. That is the essence of like the family, the community, the village.
Because if you take care of your nearest and dearest, bro, and you don't care about no one else, bruv, your kids are going to go to school. They got teachers. You don't care about that person. That could have been your kid's teacher.
And that's how I rationalise when people go, that could have been your child or that could have been XYZ, because you see a child skipping down the road. That's beautiful. But like, I look and I'm like, one day that innocence is going to be gone from you. Because society we live in. And I haven't got any children yet, and it's daunting to think about, like, I hope that I'm a great parent and that. But like, having that period where like everything's wonderful and beautiful, but then also knowing that, okay, now I got to tell you that you can't come home by yourself, or it's dark. What that means, like being aware of your surroundings, be careful, like you know that beautiful innocence and naivety that children have, which is part of the reason why this video was so poignant, because like that child's been robbed of their innocence. That child now knows what this thing is, innit? They know that this thing is a wrong thing, and now they're fully aware because it's happened to them, and it could be scarred for life. And that's what I mean about like the community, the effect on the community. Why I felt like you should switch my own off, because that girl can be affected for life now. It's going to affect her interactions with family, possibly dating life, everything, you know, working life. Like, I hope it's not that. I hope that she can move past this. But like,
so much fear in her voice.
It's so much ifs, isn't it? You know. So I'm probably happy that he brought it up in it. So that's a conversation that
just to be had and just for people to think about.
No, you know, open it up to our listenership. So use the hashtag, which is #OffTheCuffPod. And just to answer your question, it was, what is the age where society stops caring about you? If like that.
I mean, you worded it pretty well, so I'm gonna go with that.
Cool, thank you. Come on, double F.